It's a common misconception in the manifestation community that you need to create a very strong knowing or a very high level of expectation of your desire in order for it to manifest in your physical reality. For me personally, I have manifested a lot of things, and a lot of big things at that, with having zero expectation and zero knowing that it was going to manifest in the first place. But with that being said, having a strong knowing of your desire is actually not a bad thing as long as you are in alignment with having the thing that you want. If anything, as long as all of the other knobs within your vibrational system are tweaked in the correct way, meaning vibrationally you don't feel like you need it, and you are also selecting the reality where you actually have the thing that you want, and you have a strong knowing, that's when your manifestations can come in a lot quicker, because all of the knobs within your system, your vibrational essence, are tweaked in alignment with the reality where you actually do get the thing that you want. So higher expectation and strong knowing are not bad things, but you don't necessarily need them in order to manifest the thing that you want. Now, with all of that being said, in today's video, I want to talk about how to create a strong knowing of your manifestation. Like I said, you do not need to actually create this in order to manifest anything that you want, but I will say that if you have all of your other knobs within your vibrational essence tweaked in alignment, creating a stronger knowing or a higher expectation of your desire, you will see faster results in your physical reality simply because your belief knob will be turned to a higher level of expectation. But this really only works as long as you don't feel like you need the thing that you want, and you are selecting for the reality where you already have the thing that you want in your imagination, rather than trying to focus on fixing the problem or trying to change current reality in some way, shape, or form. Now, when it comes to creating a strong knowing of your manifestation, for me personally, most of the traditional advice out there did not help me at all. Most of the advice on how to create a higher expectation or a higher knowing of your desire was to saturate your subconscious or your mind with the state of the wish fulfilled over and over and over again until it's saturated and you felt it internally, and then that created the knowing, basically. For me, especially with certain desires, this actually ended up backfiring, and I'm going to explain why, because if this is happening to you, there might be a small mistake you're making when it comes to how you're saturating your mind with the desired end result in the realm of belief. This tiny mistake lies in how you are persisting in the belief category of already having the thing that you want. This tiny mistake you might be making is persisting in certainty rather than possibility in order to create a strong knowing. A lot of people associate the word knowing with certainty. And yes, they can be used in a synonymous way, but when it comes to the art of persisting in your imagination where you're selecting the reality that you want to experience, every time you imagine having the thing that you want or the end result that you are aiming for, whether affirmations, visualizations, meditation, scripting, whatever, if every time you are selecting that and you are trying to convince yourself that it's going to happen in order to create a strong knowing of the thing that you want, you're actually going backwards. Now, I've created another diagram to explain how and why this happens, okay? So right now we are talking about the realm of belief and only the realm of belief. We're not talking about detachment, and we're not talking about selecting your reality, okay? We're talking about belief, the realm of belief, when it comes to alignment to the thing that you want. So I have a diagram here, and I want to explain what this is and how persisting in these different levels of belief can cause either a desired alignment or an undesired alignment. In the realm of belief, from my perspective, we have 3 levels of belief. We have the realm of impossibility, we have the realm of possibility, and then we have the realm of certainty, which, like I said, is the word that a lot of people associate with knowing, right? Because if you know something's going to happen, you feel pretty certain that it's going to happen. They're like, you can use them synonymously in that way, right? But when it comes to persisting in certainty is actually the thing that backfires. Persisting in possibility is the belief level that creates knowing or creates certainty, we could say. So let me explain why. Let's start off with the lowest level of belief, which is impossibility. So this is you don't believe it's possible on any level. Let's say that you are trying to manifest a lot of money. Let's say you're trying to manifest being very wealthy. So let's say you're persisting in I am wealthy, I am wealthy, I am wealthy, all right? But every time you persist in your imagination, you're persisting in impossibility. Every time you persist in that end result of I am wealthy, your essence, your vibration when it comes to belief is telling you that is impossible. There's no possibility. Zero chance that that can happen for you. What do you think that's going to create in you? What that's going to create in you every time you persist and select the reality where you are wealthy, but simultaneously believe that it's completely impossible, is just more doubt in the reality that you're selecting. Persisting in selecting the reality where you already have your desire from the perspective of impossibility is just going to strengthen your level of doubt of your manifestation, which is not alignment to having the thing that you want. I feel like this level of belief is pretty straightforward, and I actually would argue that most of us aren't on this level. If you are in the manifesting community and resonate with these beliefs and these ideas of manifestation or spirituality, you have a level of possibility already built into you, because we're talking about very esoteric concepts. The point I want to make here is this is a level to be aware of, but I personally believe that most of us aren't in this level because we all believe in something. We believe either in science, we believe in our own particular manifestation process. Some of us believe in God, some of us don't believe in God, some of us believe in the universe. Like, we have a level of possibility, mostly in all of us. It's all about just identifying that level of possibility that we feel. But my point I want to make here is that if you are persisting in impossibility every time you select the desired end result, you're just going to create more and more doubt. Now, let's look at the opposite end of the spectrum, which is certainty. All right. Now, like I said, certainty is what a lot of people confuse when it comes to knowing. They can be synonymous when used in a particular way, but persisting in certainty actually ends up backfiring. So let's get back to the example, I am wealthy, and you're selecting I am wealthy, I am wealthy, I am wealthy, and you're trying to create a strong knowing of this within your system. But every time you persist in I am wealthy, you're simultaneously trying to convince yourself of the certainty that this is going to happen. So it's like, I am wealthy, yes, this is definitely going to happen. I am wealthy, yes, this is definitely going to happen. Now, it sounds good on the surface, but when you take into consideration that you are simultaneously persisting while living in physical reality, every time you persist in I am wealthy, yes, this is going to happen, and then you go back to your physical reality and see that it has not happened, what that does is it creates a disconnect between your imaginal world and your physical world, which backfires when it comes to your alignment with having the thing that you want, because you're affirming in your head, I am wealthy, I am wealthy, I am wealthy. You're selecting the reality where you are wealthy, but then looking into physical reality and saying, I am not wealthy. My bank account does not look like I want it to. Right now, we are in the present moment. And if you don't have your desire right now, then you're hopefully trying to get into alignment with already having your desire, right? At least in your imagination, so that it can materialize in your physical reality. Like I said though, we're living in two different worlds here. We have our imaginal world and then we have our physical world. And both of these worlds are happening right now in our present moment. It's only in our imagination right now where we have our manifestation. It is not necessarily projected on the screen of space just yet. Persisting in certainty before you get your desire or see reflection of your desire, the reason why this backfires is because it creates that level of disconnect between your imaginal world and your physical world. When we're trying to align ourselves with the reality of already having the thing that we want, our goal is to create a communion between our imaginal world and our physical world. What ends up happening when you persist in certainty before you get your desire is it ends up creating a stronger level of attachment to your desire, because every time you come out of the selection process of your mind and you say, this is definitely going to happen, and you look into your reality and it has not happened yet, what that ends up causing vibrationally is this need for it to happen in your physical reality, because logically you have selected it in your imagination and you're not seeing it in your physical reality. That disconnect between imaginal world and physical world is what creates that need feeling. So the knob of belief ends up backfiring and tweaking your detachment knob to a need level, which what you need you lack on the inside, and therefore inner creates outer. You're not going to see a desired reflection in your physical reality. So persisting in certainty strengthens your attachment to your desire because of that disconnect between your imaginal world and your physical world, and trying to convince yourself of something that is not actually there in your physical world. The secret to creating a strong knowing of your desire is persisting in possibility, okay? And that's because, like I keep mentioning, it has to do with the present moment and how you're simultaneously living in your imaginal world and your physical world in the present moment at the same time. So let's say you've never experienced being wealthy before, and you're selecting for the reality that you want in your imagination. I am wealthy, I am wealthy, I am wealthy. But this time you're persisting in possibility. So you're saying, I am wealthy. Yes, I believe that's possible for me. I am wealthy. Yes, I believe that is possible for me. As you keep selecting that reality through the lens of possibility when it comes to belief, the lighter you feel, the more possible it seems real to you, even if you don't necessarily know why it feels possible to you. The reason why this is because the vibration of possibility in the realm of belief actually has a built-in level of acceptance for your physical reality as you're selecting for the reality that you want. It harmonizes your imaginal world and your physical world together, so you're not resisting your physical world in order to select via your imaginal world. You don't even need to understand exactly why this is. Just try it out. Try persisting in possibility. Every time you select for the reality that you want in your imagination, instead of trying to feel it real or affirm a million times in a row, just affirm once, just select once, and then come out of it and say, yes, I believe that is possible for me. Yeah, I believe that's possible for me. I believe that's possible for me. Even if you don't know why you believe it's possible for you, just saying it feels good. Even as I say it right now, I feel better. I feel lighter. Yeah, that's possible. That is possible for me. That repetition over and over and over again is the thing that actually creates the knowing that this is meant for you. And like I said, the reason this is because of its built-in level acceptance for the physical reality exactly as it is, while simultaneously selecting for the reality that you want. So how do we create stronger possibility trails? For me personally, I've categorized the different type of possibility trails into 3 different categories. All right. So the first one that I use, and I use this one the most, is what I consider logic trails. All right. So logic trails to me are, I believe in this concept, therefore that means that this reality is possible for me. So for example, I believe that creation is finished. What I want already exists, and all I have to do is align with it, and then I get what I want. Or I believe everyone is you pushed out. So therefore, I believe that I can get a different version of this person. I use my own logic or my own set of beliefs that I currently have about the universe, or my own set of beliefs about manifesting, to align with the reality where my manifestation is possible for me because of this logic that I am using. Another type of logic process that I think a lot of people use, something I realized in myself earlier on, is sometimes you believe in the process itself. So let's say that you are really into robotic affirmations or any type of chronic focusing work. You may not believe in what you are affirming, but you do believe in the process of how it saturates your subconscious mind and then reflects onto the screen of space. Go with that logic trail. That one's completely fine as well. It does not matter why you think this is possible for you or why it's going to work, as long as it resonates with you. I want to make this clear. We are all very different human beings with very different complex belief systems. What is logical for me may not be fully logical for you. For example, when it comes to me and my mom, for instance, my logic, especially when it comes to the things that I think are possible for me, the logic I use to get to that is completely different to her logic. If I went up to her and I was like, I'm going to manifest a new car, and the way I'm going to do this is I'm going to quantum leap into the reality where I already have the car and creation is finished, and all I need to do is select the reality I want and then make sure I'm detached and live in the state of the wish fulfilled, she'd be like, you need an exorcist. She'd be kind of she wouldn't understand what I was saying. But that being said, my possibility trails don't need to be like hers in order for me to get what I want, and hers don't need to be like mine in order for her to get what she wants. So the possibility trails are going to be different depending on the person and what they resonate with. Honestly, if you look at all the information out there when it comes to manifesting, you'll notice that what a lot of people are doing is they're just arguing their possibility trails for the way that they personally manifest. That's all they're doing. They're not wrong. And if you resonate with the way that they're talking, then follow their possibility trails. But you don't need to. There's no right or wrong in manifesting. And this is one of the main reasons why. It's because of our belief systems and the way that we're seeing the world and the way that we're connecting the dots and putting these patterns together in order to get the reality that we want. But the point I'm trying to make here is that it's never about convincing yourself of certainty. It's about creating that trail of possibility that creates the knowing within your system that allows you to align with reality where it was possible for you and you actually got the thing that you wanted. Heck, if your logic trail is like a hummingbird flew in front of my face this morning and that was a sign from the universe that this is possible for me, go with that. It does not matter. It does not matter at all what logic trail you use, as long as it resonates for you and you're not trying to force yourself to believe in something that you don't already believe in. And that's actually another secret when it comes to belief. If you're trying to change a belief or want to up-level your beliefs, don't try and, for me personally, it never really worked for me to just vainly repeat it over and over and over again. For me, it worked to use my own personal logic trail to that belief. So let's say I was trying to do some self-concept work and say, I'm a master manifester. Instead of just affirming, I'm a master manifester, I'm a master manifester, I'm a master manifester, without fully being aligned with that belief yet, instead of focusing on chronic repetition of that and trying to saturate my subconscious mind, I would select that reality once and then remind myself, I believe in that possibility. I believe that I can be a master manifester. And then I create my own logic trail to why I believe that I'm a master manifester. So for me, logically, I'm like, well, I have manifested a lot of things into my reality consciously. I also understand alignment pretty well when it comes to manifesting. I also believe in everyone is you pushed out and creation is finished and all these other phenomenons. And what I do is I just create my own logic trails to why I think that belief is possible. So try that out if you're trying to change a belief. Use your own logic to your advantage. I know there's a lot of people out there that saying like using logic when you're manifesting is like not good. Using logic when you're going against your desire is not good. But using your own logic when it comes to the possibility of your desire is fantastic. Use it. It will help you get to where you want to go so much faster. But let me wrap up this video with the last two different types of trails. Like I said, you don't need to categorize them exactly like this. It's whatever resonates with you, but I call emotional trails like, I believe that this manifestation is possible for me because I am worthy of this manifestation, or because I deserve this manifestation. Basically anything that's a little bit more emotional than just like logic. Now, you could argue that that is another logic trail. It's just a belief that you resonate with. It does not matter how you categorize it. This is just how my brain thinks of it. But emotional trails are like, I'm a multimillionaire and I believe this is a possibility for me because I am worthy of that much money. It just feels a little bit more emotional to me. That's why I categorize it under emotions. But the last trail I want to mention are how trails, and you have to be careful with this one if you decide to use it, because at least in my past experience, sometimes I would get too attached to one particular how trail instead of using a how trail to just get me to the feeling of possibility. So how trails are just ways you think that your manifestation can happen physically. So if we're sticking with the manifestation of money or being wealthy, right? Some how trails could be like, well, I could get a raise. That's how I could become a multimillionaire. Or maybe I could win lotto. That's another possibility. Or, hey, I could find like a lot of money on the ground. That could be another possibility for how I am wealthy. Like I said, how trails are just like more physical. They're more like, you see a little bit more of a clear path of how things could come to you in a physical way. But like I said, do not become attached to a how trail. The only reason why you are exploring a how is not to figure out the how, it's to increase your feeling of belief in the realm of possibility. When you increase your feeling of possibility, that naturally creates a feeling of knowing, especially if you do it over and over and over again. The 2 points I want to drive home here is, first, you don't need to create a strong knowing of your desire in order for it to manifest. The only thing you need to do is select for the reality that you want where you already have your desire and remind yourself that you believe in its possibility. If you are persisting in impossibility, step back and redo it, but from a different point of view. Select the reality that you want where you already have your desire, and then remind yourself, I believe in the possibility of this, not the certainty, the possibility of this. Even if you don't feel like you believe in the possibility of it, every time you select it in your imagination, say the words, I believe it is possible for me. Just say them. Not to convince yourself of anything, just to say them. What this does is it naturally commands your mind to believe in its possibility, even though it has absolutely no evidence or reason why to. And what will happen when you do this over and over and over again is a trail of possibility will present itself to you using your own logic on why this reality is possible for you. And the second point I want to drive home is persisting in certainty can actually end up backfiring, because persisting in certainty and then coming out of the selection process of your imagination and looking into your 3D reality can accidentally cause a level of attachment to getting the desire that you want. Your goal is not to persist in certainty. Your goal is to persist in possibility and let that feeling of possibility turn into a knowing. But you're never trying to directly create a knowing. You're letting the feeling of possibility create the knowing. So always aim for possibility and let that make you feel more secure and create a stronger knowing of the thing that you want. Never try and control the knowing, control your level of possibility and your logic behind the possibility. I hope this video helped clarify this realm of belief when it comes to manifesting. Try this out. If you're struggling with your manifestation and you feel like things are impossible or things are not working out, or you feel severely attached to your desired end result, it might be because you're trying to convince yourself of the certainty of it when you really can't convince yourself of the certainty of it. You can only convince yourself of the possibility of it, and that is what directly controls your feeling of certainty of it. It's a very indirect way of creating knowing. And as always, I'm very curious to hear your perspective, so let me know what you think about this video in the comments below. But that is all for now. Until next time, keep creating, everyone, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.